It's only 9 days into June and I'm filming my May lookbook. Who even am I? So technically I've only sewn 10 things in May, but 8 of those were key fobs for Foxhills, which I didn't take a photo of. I'm so annoyed with myself. I will see if I can get a photo for a upcoming lookbook to show you guys, but they were just literally the key fobs, which I've done a video on how to make here with the little fox buttons sewn onto the front, and they love them. And apparently they're using them as their personal key rings as well, because my friend Debbie's staying with them at the moment, and yeah, they are using them, so that's awesome. I also finished the lavender and twine Horiath in the mustard yellow Mora leather from Emmeline Bags by So Hot. I absolutely love this. This is the current bag that I'm using and it is awesome. Really love this bag. Now in my May plans, which you can see up here, I did say that I had enough of that leather left to make another Carter bag, which I do. I went through my hardware stash and I was missing 2 rectangle rings and 2 half moon magnets for the type of closure I wanted to do for that bag. So I went through my bag making kit box, because I have got one of those, and I did put together a bunch of kits to make sure that if I ever had the inspiration to make a bag, that I could just go to the kit box, pick out a kit, get the fabric and make it. That's how this beauty was born. This is the blue colour Aster bag, and I have been threatening to make this exact bag for years now, actual years. I love how this has turned out. I have used all rose gold hardware. I have used cork that I got from Tanya's Fabrics years ago, a faux green leather that I got from eBay, and then I raided Mum's stash for what is some very loud lining on the inside. This bag is awesome. It has 4 slip pockets, a zipper pocket. It is a dupe of the Hermes toolbox bag. I love this. I haven't used it yet. It's kind of a summery bag because of the cork, but then it's kind of wintry because of the dark leather. So in my head it's just like an all year round bag, but I've been loving my Horiath so much that I haven't decided to use this one yet. It's got feet on the bottom of it. I love it. I absolutely love it. There is a sew along for this bag that Blue Colour has done themselves, and it's amazing, and I followed that and I wouldn't change a thing. I think it's a really well written pattern. I love it. And I can say all of that about the Horiath as well. The Horiath is an amazingly well written pattern. I absolutely adored teaching this at the KB sewing retreat at the beginning of May. All the different ones that everybody made was just wonderful, and it was lovely to see all the different choices that people made for fabrics and combinations of linings and stuff like that. So the Horiath is also an amazing pattern that I highly recommend. The beginning of May was obviously very busy, and then there were a lot of bank holidays in May. My birthday, my new boyfriend's birthday, and my mum's birthday as well. So there was a lot of celebrating getting done. Actually not much more sewing. I sewed the blue colour Aster bag on the 14th of May, and then I didn't do anything else until the 25th of May. I made 11 things. I forgot I made another thing. I decided May was going to be my TNT month to try and get my SewJo back because it had disappeared. One of my TNTs is the Sew Over Eve dress, so I made this version. There's a full video if you would like to see how I made this in detail and if this actually got me my SewJo back, and I think the answer to that is a resounding yes. I love how this turned out. I was a bit worried about the fabric, but it's actually, all of the colours in it are in my colour wheel that I've had done. I think it's turned out really nice. I really like the abstract print, and it does have a tiny little bit of floral in it if you get very close up to the hot pink areas. So I think this has been a great success. I haven't worn it out yet, but I will be very soon. In fact, I have done incredibly well with my May plans. The only thing that I didn't tackle was the corset 2.0. That was just because I was enjoying sewing the grace dresses, all 4 of them, so much. I clearly am wearing a version of it now, but the first one that I did was this one, which has got 4 meters of fabric in it, and it's a tiered and gathered skirt. Now I'm going to go into more detail about these dresses and why I picked the skirt type for the fabric in the dedicated video, because there will be a video coming out about these dresses very soon. But I am over the moon happy with how this has turned out, and I really loved playing around with it with my petticoat on as well. Now, the actual yellow part of this dress is hemmed, but I did fully line this because this fabric was sheer. The lining is a half circle skirt, and that has not been hemmed yet. So this does need to be leveled because it has dropped on the bias massively, and you will see it poking out at the bottom of the twirls because of that reason. There's two of them, and then also my Dolce Gabbana rose print dress that needs to be hemmed as well. So I'm gonna have a day next week where I go and just level all the hems out and get them sewn, because that way I can wear all of these dresses out. And I love how this one has turned out. This fabric is from Cloth Edit in Australia. I have 4 meters of it. I am just so over the moon with this. Said I wasn't going to go into too much detail, and here I am going into all the detail. It's a Japanese cotton. It does have a lovely drape but a little bit of structure as well, which I think works really well for this skirt. I'm over the moon with it, but like I say, I will go into more detail, if there is more detail, in the dedicated video for the Grace dresses. But over the moon with this and loved putting it on, loved twirling in it. Can't wait to finish it so that I can actually wear it out, because this is gorgeous. The next one that I got done was this black viscose with yellow, pink and red roses all over it. I was not remotely careful about the print placement on the bodice of this one. I cut, and it's self-lined as well, so I cut 2 out, hoping for the best. I have got a decent sized piece of fabric left over that I'm hoping I might be able to turn into a top. If not, it's going to be bias binding, but I decided to leave that to the side in case I needed to recut one of the bodice front. I actually ended up going for this one with the leaves coming out of the neckline and then just the flower over to the right. The inside had bigger flowers on it, but I decided that that was a bit more of a distraction, so that's what the inside looks like. Hang on, I'll unzip it so you can see it. So yeah, that's what the inside ended up looking like, and I think the kind of smaller floral placement on the front of the bodice, which I'm twisting around massively now, I'm doing a really good job of this. I think the smaller flower placement on the front of the bodice did really well. The print on this did have a couple of scales of the roses on it. That was one of the reasons that I was going to do a maxi dress with this one, but I decided that this fabric was too glorious to not get worn frequently, and whilst I love maxi dresses, I have to be in the right mood to wear them. So I went for a double circle skirt for this one, which is fabulous for twirling in. I was over the moon when I put this one on, which was actually for the first time in the try on clip that you're seeing. Now again, this one has not been hemmed. The bias in the curve at the bottom of this skirt is doing crazy things, so I'm letting this one do its thing. I finished this on the 5th of June, so it's been hanging up for a couple of days since then. I'm going to give this a good week before I level out the hem, just to make sure that I don't ever have to do it again, because I am not looking forward to hand hemming this thing, because it's a double circle skirt, so there's probably about 12 meters of fabric all around the bottom of this thing. It is awesome. I love it. And I love the fact that because it's a drapey viscose, it doesn't look like a huge voluminous skirt until you either put a petticoat underneath of it or twirl in it. I am over the moon with this, and I think this looks very Dolce Gabbana-esque as well. There's something about the big rose prints, so yeah, I am very happy with how this one turned out, and I love it, and again, can't wait to hem it so I can actually wear it. Then I moved on to the one that I am wearing. This is the Chestnut print cotton lawn from Fabric Godmother. I had 5 meters of this, and it was a directional print, so I went for a 5-panel circle skirt. Then with the leftovers, I've cut out this Gertie shirt, which is the 5895 pattern. Now it is out of print, but I highly recommend this shirt if you can get hold of it. However, I have added 2 inches of length to this thing, and it is still hitting just above my waistline on me. So, and I do have a long torso, but it is something to bear in mind. I know Rachel's made this shirt and has had to add quite a lot of length to it as well, and Rachel's 5'10" for reference. I love the combination together. I love the fact that I have my boobtastic Grace dress underneath this. Again, this one is a 5-panel circle skirt, but the hem didn't drop on this at all, so this hem is finished, just to show you that I do finish some of my hems, and it is finished with its very own matching bias binding, because I had enough of this fabric to cut 17 meters of bias binding out as well, which I love. So I've used it on the inside of the shirt, I've used it on the inside of the dress, and I have quite a little bit left over, which I have plans for. So yeah, I am over the moon with how this one came out. This fabric was on sale, and it's one of Fabric Godmother's own prints, I believe. I am so grateful to the Peeps for pointing me in the direction of this fabric. I am just looking forward to wearing this one out and about. I might keep it on for the rest of the day. I'm going to pick up buttons later, so I might wear this outfit later, because I absolutely love it. And I love that I have got the very booby-tastic dress underneath this, but I can add this shirt on the top. I think this might be my way of doing this in a way that works for me, because if you've watched my skirt clear out video, you know I don't really wear skirts, but I do love how this looks, and I love the idea that I have this shirt to wear with other things. And I do wear jeans every now and again, it'll look really cool with jeans, and I do wear plain skirts. But if I'd made a print, if I turned this fabric into a skirt and a shirt, I would only ever wear them together. So having a dress and then the shirt to wear over the top of it, I think is a really, really nice kind of nod towards separates, but it works in my head is what I'm trying to say. So I'm really pleased that I managed to get the 2 garments out of the 5 meters of fabric. The shirt pieces are very small, which helped. There are other shirts like the 9345 which have smaller pieces, which might work better as well, because when you're cutting out the panels of the circle skirt, you do end up with some like odd shaped panels that you might not get something on the fold. And this has a centre back seam as well as obviously the centre front seam where the buttons go. Oh, and I used lime green shell buttons, which I absolutely love. I was going to go for normal shell ones, and then I saw these and it was like perfect. I'm so happy with how this has turned out. I love, love, love this combination. I made the dress first and then the shirt. Dress took a day, shirt took a day. Very happy with both. And then the final one, the final thing that I made this month, well, technically I made it yesterday, so the 8th of June, is this dress. This is the Spoonflower cotton silk blend. I had 3 yards or 2.8 meters of it. So I went for what has turned out to just be a double pleated skirt. So there's like box pleats with little pleats behind them to take up the extra fullness, because I've used the whole 2.8 meters in the skirt and I cut it on the cross grain. I measured out the length of skirt that I wanted, which was 29 inches. Made sure that I had enough to cut out the bodice from the remaining fabric, because whilst the fabric itself was wide, they have got very large borders on it where the print is then inset from there. The bodice is lined in black cotton lawn for this one. That was only because there wasn't enough of the fabric to self-line it, which is fine. I am over the moon with how this turned out. I put it on and literally, because I haven't tried it, I made it yesterday, I haven't tried it on since I finished it, because I finished it about 11:30 last night. I am in love with how this has turned out. I have quite a lot of prints on this base in this yardage, so 3 yards of all of them. For the longest time I got stuck, because when I ordered these fabrics, I used to make a lot of short dresses. I just don't wear short dresses anymore, so I was just like, I don't know what to do with them, because I want a full skirt but I've only got this much fabric, so I want a dress, and like but this I think might be a really good compromise, because the bodice takes a very small amount of fabric and then the skirt still looks full, and this fabric has a nice hand to it as well. It's drapey, but it still has a little bit of structure. It's kind of that in-betweeny kind of floaty lightness with structure. So yeah, I'm over the moon with how this one turned out. I can imagine that there will be a fair few more of these made with some of those other lengths of fabric that I've said I've got, because it's got the length, it's got the body in the skirt, and then it's got the bodice I like, and oh, it's just so pretty. It's so, so pretty. I have had this print once before on a satin to line a coat, and I've actually donated that coat, so I kind of want to buy it again, because I have bought myself 8.5 meters of red wool coating, and I just think this as the lining for that would be amazing. Spoonflower is an expensive addiction to have and there's no getting around it. Spoonflower is expensive, but you do get some amazing prints, and if you pick the correct base for the project that you want to use, then I think it's well worth the money. I'm sad that they don't offer this cotton silk anymore because it is a beautiful fabric. This is going to be a dry clean only dress because the trouble with the cotton silk is it's a natural fibre, so it takes the dye really well, but it also washes and fades very, very quickly. So yeah, this is a dry clean only dress. I think this is going to be kind of like a date night dress anyway, so you know, it's not going to get worn that frequently, but it will be worn, and I'm so glad that I finally worked up the courage to actually make this into something because it's turned out gloriously and I love it. So 5 dresses, 1 shirt and 2 bags. It was almost everything that I said I was going to do in my plans as well, which is kind of unheard of for me at the moment because we all know I get grand plans and go off half-cocked and just try and do everything and then nothing happens. So I'm really pleased with myself that I have managed to get all of these done and that they've turned out so well and that I love them as much as I do. It's definitely reignited my SewJo. I am so excited for this month's projects. I am going to be putting out that video very, very soon for you guys to have a look and see what I'm planning on making and with what fabrics. I think I've picked some good ones, so I hope you're looking forward to that. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favourite make from this month and what did you think of the 4 same bodices but with different skirt dresses. I really hope it's something you like seeing because it's a concept that's really taken a hold of me and is something that I want to continue with different patterns going forward, as again you'll see in June's plans. If you've enjoyed this video, you might want to check out this one here.